Morning everyone. Just going to wash my hands before we start cooking. Takes quite a long time to wash your hands really properly, you know. And there's all these crevices. Just take my watch off because I like to do up my arms a little way too. And in between here. Notice I haven't got the tap running while I do it because that's a waste of water. And apparently, drying your hands is just as important. Okay, hi. We're going to make butter chicken. We're going to serve it with basmati rice, and we're going to serve it with broccolini, so it'll be a nice meal for a family at home. So, I'm going to introduce you to the rice cooker. Your home probably has one, but believe it or not, some homes don't have a rice cooker. And here's a great idea. If you're still wondering what to get for Mum for Mother's Day, a couple of you could put in for it. They're only about $25 from places like Harvey Norman or whatever, and they cook rice perfectly every single time. We're going to put 2 of these little cups in. And then we're going to add water up to the second line. And then we just put the lid on and then it'll just cook. But I might put a little bit of salt in it. Close and you'll see how we peel a garlic. You might not all have a garlic press at home, so I'm going to show you how we can do what we can do to make that garlic nice and small without a garlic press. So first of all, we're going to marinate the chicken. We're using chicken thigh. Leave it over there. So this is what we do with our. We're going to put that underneath our knife, along the fat part of the knife, and we're going to squish it like that. Then we're going to go through and chop it a bit more. Now, some people put salt on it and do this. I don't think there's any need for the salt, so we can just squish it a bit more, and that goes in our bowl. Ginger. Apparently, Asian people don't peel their ginger. So, what we're going to do is, we're just going to make it into slices first. It's got a lot of ginger in it, this recipe. Lay those on top of one another. So they're cut into strips. Then we lay the strips all beside each other and cut them into a fine dice. We're going to make it even smaller than that. I'll show you what we'll do in a minute. Okay, so now that we've got the ginger into a fine dice, we're going to go through again. It's quite a lot of ginger, isn't it? You and your family don't like so much ginger, just half that. The recipe calls for 3 centimetres, so you can do less than that. But now it's fairly fine. That can go into the bowl. We've got some lovely spices that have got to go in, which are already measured out, and the yogurt. That can go in there as well. Mix that through. Oh, it smells divine. And we've got chicken thigh. Chicken thigh is the best thing to use for butter chicken and for dishes that you're going to cook a long time that you want to be really. So we're going to cut off some of the fat if we can. This one's really quite fatty. So we'll cut that off. And we're going to cut it into chunks about like that. Now we've got all our chicken in there. We're just going to mix it all through. That has to marinate for about an hour. We're going to put it back in the fridge while it marinates. Okay, we're going to dice this onion for the butter chicken. Not doing it really, really fine. Just doing a sort of a medium dice. Now you want a fairly heavy bottomed pan. I'm going to use the saucepan. It's got a fairly heavy bottom. So we're going to have some oil and some butter to cook the onion in. I'm going to cook that for 3 or 4 minutes. On a medium heat. Just going to show you how you can do this really nice thing with the broccoli. You can actually peel the broccoli and then cut it into strips, soak it in cold water, and then it all curls up and it looks absolutely divine, and it's more tender as well. So you come through from the top, just slice it in half, slice it in half again, and then after you put it in water, these stems all curl up and they look divine. So we're just going to have a look at the beautiful onion cooking away in the butter. We'll just go a little bit longer. They're not quite transparent enough yet. We're going to turn that down now. So the chicken has been cooking for 5 minutes with the onion, and now we're going to add the tomato puree. Now it's not tomato paste and it's not tomato concentrate, it's tomato puree. The whole tin goes in, and half a cup of chicken stock. If you don't have, chicken stock already made up, you just get some chicken powder stock, and read on the back of the packet and see how much to put in for half a cup. Now we're getting that lovely orange colour that we get with butter chicken. Bring it up to the boil. You can do that on high. And then we're going to turn it down when it comes up to the boil. See how they've curled up? Cute. So after another 5 minutes after the cream, I tested the chicken to see if it was cooked, and it was, okay? Now if I just kept on cooking it and cooking it and cooking it, it would end up being very dry. But when I looked at the sauce, I thought the sauce was very runny. See how runny it is? There's no thickness to it. So what I've done is I've taken the chicken out, and I'm going to cook the sauce for as long as it takes to thicken up. So we have waited for the sauce to thicken up, and I've put the chicken back inside to heat through a little bit, and you can really see the difference, can't you? Now it looks like a sauce. Before it just looked like a runny liquid. And we've got our broccoli water on, that's going to go in boiling, and you can see how beautiful they've gone, all curly now. We're going to cook our broccoli now. It's not going to take hardly any time at all. Look how fine it is. And some tongs. Push it down in the water. And that will literally take no time at all. And while that's cooking, I'll just show you a nice thing you can do with presentation. Don't put the lid on. Just leave the lid off. Come over here. You might not have a mould like this, but you might have something like it. Put a little bit of water in there, swish it round, Just that little bit of water. Then you've got a fancy little paddle thing that comes with the beautiful rice cooker. Push that in. Really push it down quite hard. And then just give it a little tap and it comes out like that. Beautiful. Literally only took about 2 minutes for it to be ready. Bring it over to the sink and then strain it off into a colander and Bob's your uncle. So this recipe is for 4, but we're going to squeeze it out for 5 because we're just having it for lunch. Fresh coriander to finish it off. Homemade butter chicken with broccoli and some coriander to finish.